Today I'm hiking in the Mount Hood Wilderness again, going up the, let's see, this is the same hike I've done twice already this summer, the Saheli Falls, Umbrella Falls, across, what do they call it, Heather Canyon. Should be a nice hike today. This is, can't remember the name of this creek. It must have been on that map there, but I'm not going back to look at it. Anyway, it's a nice creek, a good amount of water flow, especially considering that it is early September and hasn't been much rain. But should be a good hike today. Sorry, it's not early September, obviously. It's late September, almost the equinox. And we can see here that the elderberry leaves are starting to change color. Not elderberry, sorry, huckleberry. These were covered with huckleberries the last time I came through here. Now the berries are all gone and the leaves are starting to turn. Here I am approaching the that creek. Somehow I've forgotten the name of it, but let's see how the water flow is at this time. Yeah, looks like about the same or maybe a little less than last time. Still a pretty view though. It's nice, even though it's 15 minutes, quarter till 9 o'clock in the morning, it's still only about 50 degrees. So nice and comfortable for walking. That is, I think, 12 degrees Celsius or so. So it shouldn't get too hot by noon, I think. Well, about an hour has passed since I first looked down on that creek there. Now I'm much higher up above it, and we can see, yeah, there's the tip of Mount Hood through the trees there. See the trail gets a bit precarious along here, and I'm only about, I don't know, a mile or so past where I was an hour ago. And why did it take me so long? Well, because I stopped to cut a tree that had fallen down over the trail rather than having to scramble across it, straddle it, or climb it or something. And my saw blade is about, I think it's 9 inches long, and the tree was about 11 inches in diameter, so it took a while to saw through it, and it was quite a workout. But anyway, that'll be one less tree for me to worry about next time I hike here. And also, I had chosen to hike in my hiking boots today, which I actually hadn't used in about, I don't know, maybe 5 years. But I thought I would hike in hiking boots because these shoes get all full of dust when I hike. But unfortunately, the soles came off the hiking boots about 2.5 miles into the hike. But fortunately, I brought a spare of shoes with me. A spare pair of shoes. Spare pair. Who hikes with extra shoes in their backpack? Well, apparently I do. I had a premonition that those hiking boots, actually I wasn't worried about the sole coming off of them as so much as I was worried about they might not have enough cushioning to protect my feet. They felt pretty good in terms of the foot protection, and they certainly were a lot more supportive, but I guess the glue finally wore out on them and the soles came off. So they were kind of like flip-flops for a while, and then I had to stop and change into my usual trail shoes that are pretty good, but they let a lot of dust in. So my feet get just covered with sweaty dust. So I don't know, I might have to shop for a pair of new hiking boots, perhaps. Well, now I remember the name of that creek is Newton Creek, And this is the junction with the Timberline Trail, which is also the Pacific Crest Trail here. So if you go down that way, you can eventually get to California and then all the way down to the border of Mexico, Baja California. That would be quite a hike. Don't think I'll do that today. There once again is Mount Hood, and I'll be heading down and across this ravine and then over to there. Right through those trees is where the trail ends up. I guess I'll be there in about 45 minutes or so. This fir tree that must have fallen down and someone cut the end off so we can get through hiking on the trail. The fir tree smells incredibly nice. It's like a very sweet smelling Christmas tree. I could smell it from several yards back down the trail. Makes me look forward to getting my own Christmas tree in a couple months. This is what those leaves and berries look like up close. If you look at my video from about a month or so ago of this trail, you can see, well, you can see what they looked like a month or so ago when the leaves were vibrant green. Over there is the spot where I was, the intersection with the Pacific Crest Trail. And I said it would take 45 minutes to get over here, but I was wrong. It is actually only about 10 minutes to get here. It's after the next ridge is where I then have to go down into the ravine and back up the other side. But beautiful views here. So I guess what I had a month ago with all the wildflowers, now it's replaced by fall foliage. Really beautiful. Down there is the ridge where I was talking about my boots and cutting through that log. So on the other side of that ridge is the Newton Creek, which we can't really see from here. Actually, we can't see it all because it's way down below. But it is a pretty looking ridge from over here. Take that back, maybe we can see Newton Creek way down there. You can see the trail dust that fills up my shoes, and over there is the top of some of the chairlifts at Mount Hood Meadows. So I'm going to be now heading down into this ravine here and cross that creek, and then up the other side and across the ski slopes, which is where all the wildflowers were a month ago. We'll see if there are any more wildflowers left. More beautiful colors along the trail here. And here's another nice view of Mount Hood. There are some of those falls that flow down off of Mount Hood. And I'd already noticed this one before, but I didn't notice how the water just runs down those rock faces there. Must be pretty amazing to be over there. I won't be going there on today's hike though. Now I've made it down into the ravine and am heading over to cross this creek. I don't know, this might be the top of White River. Could be. Not sure. But this is the first crossing, which, let's see, where's the spot where I cross? Oh, I think it's those logs over there. Here's a fairly stable crossing. Hopefully I won't slip in and get wet. Made it across, and that's where I just came from, up there. Can't even see the trail. Well, there's some people on the trail there, yes, so that's where the trail is. Well, the wildflowers that were here a few weeks ago have now all gone to seed. Well, I guess there's still a couple of flowers hanging on. Late bloomers. And here's this little waterfall again. It's only, I don't know, maybe 10 feet tall, but it's real pretty with all the moss. Last time I took a video of me standing next to it, I believe, to show the height, its height. So it's really just a trickle of water. Now as I come along here, I can hear the thundering of the next falls, which are much more spectacular. I also filmed this a few weeks ago. It's beautiful though. You can see the grayness of the water there. It's glacial runoff, so I guess that's what they would call glacial till in the water. Not sure what the term is. And neither of these, as I think about it, neither of these can be the White River, because the White River is on the other side of Mount Hood Meadows ski area. So these are some other creek. I don't know what they are, what their name is. But anyway, they're nice looking. Here's a closer view of that waterfall, looking down from above it. And I'm about to head over here and find a place to cross. Looks like maybe I have a couple of choices. I don't know. I guess I'll do this one. It'd probably be smart to get out my hiking sticks for support as I cross this. And I did make it safely across with the help of my trusty REI hiking sticks. Can still hear the sound of the waterfall behind me, and here's some more beautiful foliage. That sign way up on top there has got to be a sign warning skiers of the abyss on this side of the sign. These flowers have definitely gone to seed, but the grasses are starting to look really pretty there. Well, according to my AllTrails app, I am at the high point of my hike today in terms of elevation, which I guess is around 6,200 feet or so, I think. And I think I'll stop here for a break and refill my water bottle. of late blooming flowers here. Very few of them though. Mostly things that have gone to seed. Here's that patch of flowers. These are called hippie on a stick. And I guess the hippies are beginning to go bald, getting a bit long in the tooth. But in fact, some of them have gone completely bald. But they certainly are a unique flower. And the hair on them is pretty coarse. It's not soft. It is kind of feathery. Oh, look, it's got little seeds on the end, and it's got little feather-like, I don't know what you call those, barbs, and it can definitely be pulled off pretty easily at this time of year, but they certainly are pretty. The hippie on a stick. Near that patch of hippies on sticks, we have a nice patch of these flowers that I guess it's a little shadier here, probably more moist, and they're blooming a bit later. It's amazing how red these berries are. And it's like they're glowing. Well, this has been a good hike. It's been about 5 hours and I don't know, 10.5 miles. And it's about 1 p.m. now, and so it's kind of warm. Warmer than I like it when hiking, but certainly not hot by most standards. And well, I'm looking forward to getting back to the car and having got a couple apples there waiting for me and a almond butter sandwich. Yum, yum.